Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight. This is Chrystal Lynn, Cowgirl Astrologer, and I am so excited tonight because I am doing my first of 3 free readings for the holidays. I want to give back to you guys in a little way that I can. So I've been asking you guys as of the last video to send me your date of birth and 3 questions. So I have picked 3 winners. So if you haven't heard from me, then don't despair, because I was so intrigued and so, just impressed with all of your questions. And so I've decided that I am going to be continuing possibly once a month. I don't know if it'll be more than that, for sure once a month, offering a free reading. So I'm just going to keep reminding you guys, send in your birthdays. If you have sent them in already, you have a chance to win again. So you never know. This is, it happens. So that's what's fun about all of this. One more thing, and I want to share with you guys that tonight's reading is not only going to be a reading and talking about a chart, but it's also, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some tips to how to read a chart. In 2017, I am taking my focus into teaching chart reading. I shared a little bit about it with you guys, and I'm going to be talking about it. In 2017, I'm moving some of my content to a membership page, subscription page. I will be putting on the subscription page, it's a lot to get out there, 4 videos a month, complete videos that are chart readings and talking about, all aspects of astrology. Also included in the subscription page will be more opportunities to win free readings, opportunities for discounts for my one-on-one or small group astrology classes through Google Hangout, discounts on readings, my blogs, my journals, my astrological research. As you guys know, if you've been following my channel for a really long time, or if you even want to look back to the beginning, I have been doing astrological research all along. And 4 years now being on YouTube, and that doesn't include my, my study, my years of study prior to coming out. I now have some really neat collections of all my work that I've been putting together, and finally putting it together for you guys and for myself. So I want a place that for those of you who want to take astrology to another level, to learn astrology, whether it's to learn it professionally, whether it's to learn it for yourself. I believe that we can use astrology in our everyday life. We can look at the weather through astrology. Through health, we can look at our children, we can look at our relationships at work, we can look at timing. Astrology is an absolutely beautiful, and I believe becoming an extremely necessary tool for everybody's life. And so many people have no clue how amazing it is. So for those of you who do know and would like to follow me to this page, I will be opening the doors to it in 2017, January. It will be $9.99 a month. There will be a discount if you want to buy a year subscription. All of the videos that I put on there will also be available, a la carte in my store. I'm upgrading my website, but they will be $9.99 a video. So it would be really a better opportunity with huge amounts of opportunities and discounts and different things to get the $9.99 a month. Okay, so you get 4 videos. All right, so that's just a few things about it. I'll be sharing more as I'm creating it right now as we speak. And just to include one more thing, January, with my grand opening, I will be doing all 12 signs for the year 2017. They will be extensive, okay? I'll be taking my time. So you'll actually get 12 videos in the first month, and they will be in depth. I will be able to be a lot more in depth on the page that I've created, and be able to kind of, you know, have a little bit more creative control over my content. So anyway, all that being said, thanks for sticking with me. If you want information about this and you want to try to get into further contests to win a free chart reading like I'm going to do tonight, send me an email. And then that way, when these new products and opportunities are available, I can send you the information. There's no commitment to do anything. But if you send me your email and your entry, then at least you can get the information as it comes out. Okay? So again, thank you. Thank you guys for supporting me, because by you guys supporting me, it allows me to continue to support you. Okay, so here we go. So tonight, the chart reading we're going to be looking at, I'll just say, and I'm not going to give names, but he is a male, okay, born August 28th, 1991. So I'm not going to be putting the chart up tonight in this video. I will be doing that in future videos, so where I put the chart up. But tonight, if you want to look up the chart while you're listening, August 28th, 1991, 8:45 p.m., Houston, Texas. Okay, and interesting little side note, he has told me that he also has a female fraternal twin born at 8:46, 1 minute apart. Okay, so here we go with our twins. Did not tell me a lot about the twins, but as we look at the chart, we'll kind of see why this dynamic is playing out in his life. Okay, so basically, I asked you guys to send me questions, and it gives me a starting point. When you are reading a chart, and the type of reading I'm going to do tonight, some people call it a cold reading. I call it an intuitive reading. An intuitive reading is I haven't really looked at the chart until right this minute. Now, in some cases, when I'm doing more in-depth study or composite charts or family dynamics, I may study the charts all together for quite a while before I ever put together my, you know, my summary of what I'm seeing. But I also want to teach you guys how to do an intuitive reading, because sometimes you're in a situation that you need to look at a chart real quick, even on your phone, boom, and gain some insight. And so I want to teach you guys how to do that. So what helps me when I open the chart, okay, I look at the chart right away, and I just kind of allow my eyes to glance around the chart and just kind of look to see what starts standing out to me. What is the most dominant energy that my eye is catching and focusing on? And I allow that to be what I call the chart speaking to me. The second thing that I do is I look at my questions. Always ask somebody, if they've asked you to look at their chart or they've allowed you to, don't just dive in there and start reading somebody's chart unless they've given you permission, because as you know, chart reading can be a very, very intimate thing. And sometimes if you're a really good reader, you might even see some very personal or, you know, some things that maybe in their childhood. And as an astrologer or as a reader, you don't want to just show off your astrological muscles and knowledge by saying, hey, I can see this and I can see that, because that person on the other side is so vulnerable. So I really believe when reading a chart, the questions will help guide you into where that person is at. And unless they ask you for more, or you ask them for permission, can I share some more in-depth things with you that I'm seeing? You don't want to just jump in there. So in his question, okay, he said, you know, wants to know about his career path. He has a BA in political science, but unemployed. You know, he's on a search about his purpose, living off hard work and generosity of my roommate for too long now. Okay, and the other two questions I thought were really cute. Anything you want or don't want. to say, anything you want or don't want. So he actually given me permission now to start with his question, but also allow the chart maybe to speak to me a little bit. So again, going into reading, ask yourself what it is your purpose, and following the feel of their questions. So right away, if you guys are looking at the chart at home there, if not, I'm just going to do a quick rundown of the personal planets. I'm going to keep this kind of basic, okay? So we have to break the chart down a little bit. Otherwise, it's just too overwhelming. So the first thing I want to know is, what type of personality does this guy have, or this person have? What type of personality? Because that's going to help me know when we start looking at career, then I can see the strengths filtering into those, to that career path. So first thing I see is we have the sun in Virgo at 15 degrees. We have the moon in Aries at 18 degrees. I'm estimating degrees for you guys. Moon in Aries at 18 degrees. Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter in Leo. Okay, all tightly conjunct. Mercury at 23. Venus at 25 and Jupiter at 26. That's a tight conjunction within a 5-degree orb. So some people say 3 degrees, but 3 to 5 degrees either way is a pretty tight conjunction. Okay, that's what we really consider a powerful conjunction. Mars in Virgo. So here we have Sun, Mars conjunction in Virgo. Okay, and like I said, Moon in Aries. Ascendant in Pisces at 26 degrees. Saturn in Aquarius, we're going to look at the generational planets. Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus, Neptune, Capricorn, Lilith, Capricorn, North Node, Capricorn, Pluto in Scorpio generation. Woo! So yeah, you're probably going, whoa, that's a lot to take in. But as you get into astrology, you should be able to kind of read each one of those and have at least a glimpse of what each one may represent. So now we're going to come in here and look at, we've just done an overview. Now I like to look at the conjunctions, because those are speaking to me. Right now, this Leo energy is speaking to me. So then I look and I say, okay, we've got this tight conjunction, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter in Leo, where? In the 6th house. Okay, in the 6th house. So that tells me a little bit about something, and especially if we're going to be looking at career, where are some of the places we can look? We know we can look at Jupiter for career. We can look at North Node for career. We can look at 6th house for career, just to start, just to name a few, okay? So right off the bat, there's this huge amount of energy towards career. Now, when we look at the 6th house, we have to be able to break that down just a little bit. 6th house, daily routine, your everyday life, your health, and your work, your workplace, where you go to every day to work, whether you work in an office, where do you work? Hidden enemies. Okay, this can also represent divorce. And so it could be hidden enemies in the workplace. Okay, so first thing we're going to look at is Leo now. We have to look at, what does Leo represent? So when we look at Leo, we know there's a strong leadership role here. We've got the king. Okay, so you need to play whatever you do. We know that you need to be in a leadership role. You may have a pride around you. You really would like to have an entourage around you. May not always be possible, but in your creative mind, it's your entourage. Now, this can also be extremely competitive when you see Leo in the 6th house. And this can also attract very narcissistic, competitive relationships. They will draw into the 6th house, especially with Mercury and Venus there. This could also be your siblings and cousins. You might work with them. There may be some, power of who gets in the light here. Okay, so, but on a really good side of this is a fabulous position, I believe, for the 6th house. It brings creativity into your everyday life. You kind of do the whole, mundane, okay, I can do the step-by-step stuff, But with Leo here, this also allows you to kind of have a dramatic imagination. So, you know, you'd be the kind of person that, you know, if you're even just cleaning the house one day, you know, it has to be, you know, ta-da, look what I did, you know. Okay, so that tells us a little bit. We also see that you have Sun, Mars in Virgo. So again, when we look at this conjunction, it's not as tight. So Sun is at 5 degrees, Mars is at 27 degrees in the 7th house, okay? So now we see that behind the scenes in the 6th house, in the office, you need to be the leader, okay? You're kind of the, you know, your energy runs the show, whether anybody wants to recognize it or not, it's what is. But in your 7th house, now you're working with potential entrepreneurs. You might be working with some type of products. You're working with Virgo type people, which again is that entrepreneur. Even, you know, writing, selling books, selling anything that's a product, okay, is strong here. Now with Sun and Mars there, Sun and Mars conjunction, okay, that's kind of explosive at times. They're both heavy, powerful, fiery balls of energy. So this is a very dynamic personality. In Virgo, it could suggest maybe some OCD, perfectionism. But again, used in the right direction, you could build an amazing business. You know, you are a type of person that could take any creative adventure and really get it to shine in the light. Because of Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter and Leo, anything you do, especially working for yourself, okay, is going to be something that is really powerful, and opportunities will open up to you. With Jupiter and Leo, it really tells us again that you've got this, you know, star on the walk of life. You know, the red carpet's getting ready to open up for you. But we really see this with a very, like I said, you know, I don't want to say the Lone Ranger, but you're a self-starter. Moon in Aries, okay, Moon in Aries. There's our self-starter. There's our warrior. There's our life coach. There is our, now sometimes this can be military. I don't know if that's ever been, you know, something you've done, especially with your Pisces ascendant. If you did, might be in the Navy, something to do with water. Again, might be family members. They have a lot of family members, you know, that have been in the military. Moon in Aries often attracts a military, police force, fire department, anything like that in their life within their family members, or a pursuit for their own career. But this Virgo energy, you know, like I said, you really see more as a self-employed self-starter. And here with all this Leo energy, you can brand yourself. Leos brand themselves. I mean, look at Madonna, look at J-Lo, look at Martha Stewart, look at Kenny Rogers. I mean, they're just all real brandy type people, and we know them, we know their names. Okay, you have that ability. Are you stepping into your power? Now we need to look at, let me see if anything else speaks to me here. Okay. I also like to look, and actually it's one of the first things I normally look at, and I have to admit before I start, I looked at it, but I always look where Saturn is in somebody's chart. That actually is one of the first things I look at, because that kind of tells me at what part of life that they're at. Have they had their first Saturn yet? How close are they? Where are they at in that cycle? So you were born with Saturn in Aquarius. Now this is retrograde. Now, right now, where are we? We're in Sagittarius. Saturn's in Sagittarius. The last cycle of Saturn was in Scorpio from 2012 to 2014. So that already tells me something. That was your first Saturn square. Okay. Now, a Saturn square can be a time when, you know, you're a kid, you're a child, you're growing into a young man, you're trying to figure out what direction to go. And boom, you know, you start on that path, that journey. So we know that also when Saturn was in Scorpio, it was also squaring Leo. So the last few years, I can know in just a minute, have been pretty restraining for you, holding you back, having you really try to figure out what it is that I want. Because you had this energy affecting so much of your chart with the Leo energy there, it's a really, you had a transformation at a very young age. But that will serve you in your life because you're going to be ahead of the game spiritually and emotionally. And, you know, you've got this. With Saturn in Aquarius, this is the airwaves, okay? This is also the ability to understand the next generation as we're moving into it. You are a leader of the age of Aquarius, able to channel information from different dimensions. You know, for so many years, you know, people who believed in aliens, we thought were crazy. But now what do we see on the internet? There's always like some UFO, somebody caught on video, and, you know, there's aliens and little ghosty people everywhere, and we're catching them on video. So maybe we were too conservative about that thought, you know. But you are of a generation of people that have the potential to create something that really changes the world, that really affects humanity. With your Pisces rising, okay, this is super important because we are in the cycle of Neptune in Pisces. This has not happened for 165 years. So for the Pisces out there, ascendant, sun, moon, even if you have strong, like, you know, Venus, Mars, Mercury, North Node, you know, this is really, really, really important to know that there's a spiritual movement happening, and we've really been given the keys to the city. We have gotten the messages way before everybody else. The frustrating part has been that we've been before our time. So as we've been talking from this place up here, a lot of people weren't ready for it. They're just now getting ready, especially as we're moving into Mars and Pisces the next eight weeks. So obviously in this reading, I'm trying to keep them about 15 minutes, but I wanted to add some teaching elements in there and let you guys know that when I do a reading, this is the kind of information that you get based on your specific questions. I do have a special right now for $50. And 2017, I may not be having those types of readings anymore. I'm not sure with all the new things that I'm doing. So if you want to get in and get one of these 15-minute readings at this price right now, it's a great deal, and I can help you navigate what's happening in 2017. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that little thing in there because as I'm winding down to this chart, and I could talk about a lot more things, especially if this was a one-on-one hour, I could really, but to give a 15-minute basic overview, getting a feel for your personality, getting a feel for your strengths. We know you have a very intellectual mind. We know you are extremely psychic and intuitive. We know that you are a warrior, self-starter, somebody that's got a lot of charisma. You have the ability to brand yourself. And you have this very, very high vibrational mind that understands different dimensions. And with the strong Capricorn outer planets that you have, Uranus, Neptune, Lilith, and North Node, as you go through your first Saturn, which will be in about 4 years, because we still got to move through Capricorn, you're actually going to be quite energized during Saturn and Capricorn. It's really going to hit your generation, and you will be really moved to find your place. You are a part of a generation that's going to rebuild the world, the new age of Aquarius. There's a lot of money in these generations that you will filter through your hands. With the North Node in Capricorn, you can pretty much plan on, especially in your 11th house, which is the #1 house for millionaires and billionaires. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Yeah, this could get really exciting for you. This will happen, though, will start to trigger after your first Saturn when you're about 31. The cool thing is, though, because you're a Pisces rising, Pisces often get visions of their future 10 years before they ever happen. A lot of times they don't know to really believe in that intuition. And then like 10 years later, they'll go, you know, I had this vision when I was a kid, or I had this vision. Whatever visions you have for your future, you got it. The key is now's the time before your first Saturn to prepare. You've been doing a lot of changes, but do everything you need to do. Whatever your heart, you know, sees, that vision that you have for your life, what do you have to do to master it? Do you need to take classes? Do you need to go back to school? Do you need, you know, do you need to do more research? Do you need to get a loan? Do you, you know, what is it you need to do, and how can you do it? So, like I said, there's so much to say here, but in closing, let me just say a couple quick things. The North Node right now, as we speak, is in Virgo, literally exactly conjunct your sun at 5 degrees. North Node is in Virgo at 5 degrees. North Node goes backwards. So May of 2017, North Node's going to move into Leo. Okay, for a 1.5-year cycle. You have all this Leo in your chart, in your 6th house. Get ready. Get ready to get busy. Get ready to make this happen. You could have very influential people come into your life the next 1.5 years, because Leos always attract celebrities or, you know, well-known people into their lives. In your 6th house, you could be working. You may even be an assistant for someone for a while until you get into your position, just to learn the trade. You know, these are just, again, I'm intuiting without having a lot of, you know, details about your life. So when you get these readings, people who ask more detailed questions, I can be more detailed, but this was kind of general. So I'm just picking up on the energy around it. How you use this for your career is going to be up to what, you know, what you're dreaming of. But I know you're in a huge transition right now. Because the North Node is on your sun, when the North Node conjuncts something like your sun, your life is going to take a quick and sudden shift turn, because the North Node only happens every 18 years. And another, like Saturn, it has to redirect the path and get you on the course you need to be on. If we don't screw it up, just, you know, we've got to just kind of like, all right, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to fulfill the meaning of my life? With the North Node in Capricorn, your meaning is to build. You can build an empire with whatever it is you believe in. Being that your South Node was in Cancer for the first half of your life, you may up to this point have been much more of a caretaker for your mother or grandmother or women in your life or your home. Maybe you've had, you know, a lot of family you've had to take care of or worry about. As you move into the second half of your life, you're going to be leading a whole new path. And it's going to be a really strong direction, you know, on your own. You're climbing your own mountain now, and you have dreams, and you have visions, and you have the ability and the determination to do it. So that's exciting. December, Christmas, I think tomorrow. Merry Christmas, by the way, everyone. Happy holidays and happy solstice. Uranus in Aries is moving direct after 6 months. So boom, this chart reading couldn't be any better for you. Mars has just moved into Pisces. Neptune is direct in Pisces for the next 8 weeks over your ascendant. Since you're at 26 degrees, January 20th, I want to hear from you. What happens around the week of January 20th? Okay, let's see what happens, because that's when Mars is going to be in direct conjunction with your ascendant. So, oh my gosh, so much going on. Yeah, and if you want to go deeper into this, you can book a reading with me. I hope you'll give me a review, and you can tell us all. I'll be happy to share it too, how this reading applied, and if it did apply, and Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and to learn something. It's been a long week, but I wanted to get this out to you guys, and I'll be doing the other 2 readings next week after Christmas. So happy holidays, everyone.